man, he appears.
I believe in scoops.
Acknowledge me! You're wanted!
Acknowledge me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kick It to Scoops. I'm your host, Scoops, the sole admin of Scoops, and what a weekend of AFL footy it was. Well, the top 10 is heating up. Who's going to be top 4? Who's going to be top 6? And most importantly, who is going to finish 10th at the end of the AFL season? Is it going to be the Saints, the Blues, or the Giants? Well, you may get that answer this weekend when GWS hosts the Swans in Canberra and the Saints host the Spuds game, the blockbuster, the doubleheader between the AFLW's teams and the AFL sides, St Kilda and Carlton, and what's going to be a big day for AFLW footy, for Spuds game, and for the entire season. It's going to be a big occasion for Spuds game, the AFLW Open game between the Saints and the Blues, and the Saints and Blues men's game later on that night on Sunday night. It's going to shape the top 10. Is it going to be the Saints, Giants, or Blues that will feature in the wild card and potentially finals in 2026? We'll have to wait and see. Now, we've got Scoop News Bang, my team of the week, Supercoach Talk, and everything in between. So let's not waste any time, and we'll start off with this. You want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Want me to roast a friend, wish me a birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players or any State League players and you want to see them on the channel in a Golking Challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. And I can exclusively reveal to you all that the AFLW show is going to be back this week in time for the season opener on Sunday. Split round, but it's great to have AFLW footy back. Alrighty, now it is time for that world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Okay, so St Kilda got robbed against the Sydney Football Club for the second time this year, not once, but twice. The Saints have been screwed over against the Swans from umpiring. In both games, the Saints led for the big portion of both games. We had the bullshit the first time around with Max Hall when it wasn't paid 15 or whatever when he was on the boundary, and that stuffed us the game where Jai Sarong got the goal that he should never have got the opportunity to get because we were in front and we would have won the game had Max Hall kicked the goal. and even chewed up 30 seconds. So the Giants are on goal would have been null and void. It wouldn't have existed. Okay? It would not have existed. Then, on the weekend, the free kick count was pathetic. Now, I understand the Geelong-Collingwood game was very lopsided in terms of the quantity of free kicks, but it's not necessarily the amount, it's how you get them. Now, Geelong were very undisciplined. They gave away a lot of free kicks, getting chased down for holding the ball, trying to get players high and whatnot. I guess I understand that it looks stupid, the free kick differential, but it doesn't have to be even in free kicks. Now, on the other hand, in the Saints game, it's drastically different because there was a lot of decisions where Sydney got protected. There was decisions where St Kilda did not get the free kicks that we should have got. They got free kicks they didn't deserve. Case in point, Charlie Curnow got a free kick in an important stage of the game in the last quarter, which, by the way, until Jack Silvani got injured, Charlie Curnow was shit. His first goal in the first quarter was a Joey the Goose out the back, a cheap goal, as they would say. And then his two other goals in the last quarter was when Silvani was off. Jack Silvani gave Charlie Curnow a bath, just like he did earlier in the season. So Charlie Curnow's goal, after Silvani was injured, wasn't deserved at all. That changed the momentum. Now, I understand that they lost James Rowbottom very early, but we lost Jack Silvani very late in the piece. And that's when the things all turned to shit for us. Naz and TDK got knocks to their hips/ribs, which didn't help us at all. And they were limited from then on. Royal Marshall had back spasms last week, and that seemed to get to him throughout the game. And then Jack Silvani dislocated his shoulder in a brave effort to try and spoil the ball where Billy Cootie got a goal. I think it was from that goal. And hurt his shoulder, putting his body on the line. He probably was never going to get to that contest, but he tried. Jack Silvani is beginning to prove why he's a great recruit. Jack Silvani is the recruit of the season. Okay? He just simply is. Now, Christian Petrarca, and rightfully so, had it at the start of the season. Then he's turned to shit. Clayton Oliver has had a consistent season, but Jack Silvani, being a defender, just how many opponents has he quelled the influence of? Charlie Curnow both times. His brave efforts across the field, spoiling the ball. There was a game on the weekend, or a spot on the weekend, where he spoiled the ball into level 2 of Marvel Stadium. Courageous going back with the flight. Contests that you don't think he would get in his favour, he won those contests. Quells the influence of his opponent. And that's why, without a shadow of a doubt, he will be in this year's All-Australian team. And if he's not, it's clearly rigged. Because, hey, tell me how he cannot be in there. Tell me why he shouldn't be in there. If you don't just say, he shouldn't be in it. He absolutely should be in it, Jack Silvani. He's been great. But the umpiring in this game was pathetic. The Charlie Curnow free kick in the last quarter swung the momentum of the game, along with Silvani's injury. Sydney were severely protected for a second time this year. Now I'm starting to see why people have been saying for a while that Sydney are protected. They're not as protected as Geelong, Hawthorn, or the Western Bulldogs or Carlton, but they are now in the category of severely protected. Except for the 2016 Grand Final, where they were robbed against the Western Bulldogs. So there's certain teams they can't be protected against because the AFL love Geelong, Hawthorn, and the Western Bulldogs. No one can beat them. And Carlton's becoming an AFL favourite the last few years or so. And Sydney is up there as well, which is pathetic. They're a great side, the Swans. They're a Grand Final contender. But the umpiring helped them win the game and screwed over our momentum. No one choked any leads. The Saints competed against another top side and were screwed over because of umpiring. If you don't think that, you don't know football and you need to get an education. Educate yourself. Now, the umpiring in the Gold Coast Melbourne game was also pathetic. The standard of umpiring is pathetic. The umpires themselves are pathetic. 99% of them don't know how to umpire AFL football or any level of football. The rules aren't hard to adjudicate. Some of the rules are shit, but they don't make those rules. The AFL do, and that's a whole nother separate issue. The AFL are a joke. The pathetic umpiring in the Gold Coast Melbourne game was nothing short of a disgrace. Now, Melbourne were favoured at times, Gold Coast were favoured at times. There's not one side that were more severely protected. There's a lot of instances where it was bullshit. And in the last quarter, in particular, there were some very, very pathetic calls going the wrong way. I mean, how do these umpires get a game every week? And don't tell me they're short of umpires. And I hear people say, oh, what a new umpire. I would know the rules better than they do. Whether the rules are good or not is irrelevant to the point. The umpires should learn how to umpire. It's not that hard. The amount of times there was a mark, a Melbourne player, I think it was Van Rooyen, marked it, and he didn't pay to mark. Like, that was bullshit. There was some free kicks that Gold Coast didn't get. I can't remember all the examples. There was so many in that game. It was pathetic. And in our game, and in the Collingwood game with Geelong. It's a joke. The standard of umpiring has been shit for years. That's why I bring it up every single week. Remember that Andrew Dillon said the AFL is the best it's ever been with the umpiring and anything in general. No, Andrew Dillon, you and everyone in your crew are ruining the game. Please do us all a favour and resign from your job and do something else. Being the head honcho of the AFL is not the job for you. That could be the best thing you do, is step aside and let someone that knows the game properly, like Gillan McLaughlin, better than you, take that role, because you can't handle that role. Now, someone that can't handle their role in the media is Kane Corns. Kane, you just don't know how to shut up, do you? Seriously. Now, Kane, I know you made a smart-ass remark towards me lately, I've been told, and that doesn't shock me, and you can reply back. But here's the facts, Kane. Okay. You want to bag St Kilda again and say we can't beat or do well against top 10 sides. Well, clearly you need another educational lesson, Kane, because, and I don't want to hear what you graduated from and what AFL career you had. That's irrelevant to any of this, okay? Here's an education lesson, Kane. You say we can't beat or do well against top 10 sides. Well, gee, clearly you don't watch football. I don't know what your hatred towards St Kilda is. Is it because of me? Is it because of other Saints fan channels that you can't fathom they're doing a better job than you? Just because you're on SEN and Channel 7 and all that doesn't mean you're doing any better than us. It means you played AFL football and you get handed gigs on SEN and that. You know, that's why I have more respect for people like Anthony Hudson and Mark Howard and Jared Waitley and guys like that, and women that are on commentary as well, that have earned their right to commentate, be an expert analysis or whatever it is, because they haven't had to just play the sport and get handed an opportunity like you did, and like a lot of people have. I have a lot of respect for the people that have earned it, like Hutto and Howie and Jared Waitley, who never played professional sport at the highest level and got handed an opportunity. People like yourself and co that played AFL or whatever level of sport they played doesn't mean they don't deserve it. Some of them that have played professional sport, like Nick Rewalt, have done a great job and have earned their role. Sure, their sporting career helped them get the opportunity, but at least they've shown the qualities of their commentary, analysis, and everything like that. David King, the same. You should learn from your good mate, David King, Kane, and get an education, number one, and two, actually learn the game properly. I am sick of people in the media that are ex-AFL players that get to run their mouth and they only got this opportunity off their AFL career or sporting career, whether it's cricket or whatever it is. Earn the role. That's why I like people like Mark Howard, Anthony Hudson, and Jared Waitley in particular, because they didn't have to play the sport to get the role. They got it because they all have an education. They all put in the hard yards. They didn't get handed an opportunity. I mean, they earned their spot. And they're all, coincidentally, better than you and everyone else that had a football career or cricket career or sporting career at the highest level. I mean, they didn't fail as a firefighter either, by the way. Now, you say we didn't do well against top 10 sides. Well, let me educate you some more. We were robbed twice against the Swans. And whether you want to say we were robbed or not, it's kind of still irrelevant because we were competing against the Swans twice in close margins. We were in front for 3.5 quarters against the Swans. Remember that, Kane, okay? Remember that. We were robbed the first time, and on the weekend, we were up there until the end. Brisbane Lions, up at three-quarter time or within the contest. Freo, the same. Gold Coast in Darwin, the same. The Crows was like a point or two. Close against Geelong, midway through the third quarter when Sharman missed that goal, would have been 8 points. Now, to say that we're not improving shows you are not improving your standard of commentary. St Kilda have clearly improved. Our percentage is over 100% for the whole season with 3 rounds to go. And very likely will remain over 100%, which means we've improved. If you can't see the improvement in Garcia, in Max Hall, and Naz, Wilkie, Silvani, Filippo's stepped it up the last few months. Liam Ryan's had a great season. TDK's been really good as well. Sam Flanders, prior to his injury, a guy you bully, was doing really well. And there's other players I'm forgetting as well. The gradual improvement is being shown clearly. Against these sides back in the day, 2 years ago or so, we'd have got smashed by the Swans, the Crows, and whatnot. We've competed against the best now. Whether we've lost is kind of irrelevant. Now, well, it is relevant, clearly. You want to win. And we don't accept mediocrity. Mediocrity like you and Adelaide supporters accept mediocrity. Apparently you can play a quarter and just call it a day and go, oh well, we've done all right. No. To say the week before, and I mentioned this last week, you're saying we're just happy to be their type team. No. I think we're better than we are. No. We know we're not a top 4 side or playing like a top 4 side, but we're competing against those sides. And that's the important part. And that's something we weren't doing a few years ago against basically any of them. And if we were, it was a rare one here and there. We own Geelong at Marvel Stadium. We were robbed against the Swans twice this year. The Crows game as well. Freo in Perth, we were up there for 3 quarters. Brisbane the same at Marvel for 3.5 quarters or so. If you actually watch games properly, Kane, you would actually know we've made the gradual improvement. And to say we haven't done well against any top 10 side is stupid. Because now, if you want to be technical, Kane, if you want to be so technical, Carlton are currently 10th, and we beat Carlton. So technically, we have beat a top 10 side. But you want to get all technical and say they weren't 10th when you beat them or something like that. I'm sure that's what you'll say. But that doesn't matter. We've beaten them before. We may potentially, hopefully, do it again this week in a must-win game, in an elimination final, without it being an elimination final. Have to wait and see. Kane, get an education because you absolutely need one. And I love that I had a lot of support into roasting you last week because that just shows, Kane, that you are just hating on St Kilda to hate. Now, St Kilda live rent-free in your head. And clearly us, St Kilda supporters with the platform, like myself and other fan channels, clearly you're just not happy that we're doing well and we're changing the game. And we're doing really well on our platforms. And we're not leeching off SEN and Channel 7 and co to forge a career like you got handed to you just because you played AFL football. At least we didn't fail as a firefighter. Hope you all enjoyed that edition of the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Alrighty. Now, let's go through my Scoops round 21 team of the week. From the back line, the pockets, Liam Stockard, stock take season, and Jack Silvani. Fullback, Callum Wilkie. Oh, that's going to ruffle a few feathers there. Half back line, the flankers, Josh Dacos and John Noble. Centre half back, shock of the season, Oscar McDonald. Wingers, Ollie Dempsey and Isaac Rankin. Centreman, Max Hall, the top 50 player. Remember him? Oh, I do. People had a go at me. Who's laughing now? Half forward line, the flankers, 2 metre Peter Wright and Stephen Canelio. Centre half forward, Harry Mackay. Pockets, Riley Thilthorpe and Brody Kemp. Full forward, Dan McStay. He's staying in the team. Ruck, Max Gorn. Rovers, Jai Newcomb and George Hewitt. The interchange, Ann Watson. Nasaya Wangani Malira. Harley Reid. Tim Taranto and Joel Fitzgerald. The emergencies, Marcus Herbert, Logan McDonald, Jake Waterman, Jed Walter, Darcy Cameron, N. Dacos, Billy Dowling, and Mitch Georgiades. Now, the reasons for all these selections for you all to see. Okay, so Liam Stocker, 25 disposals. Now, I'm not going to reveal my Brownlow votes for this game, but he is absolutely in the conversation for votes. He quelled the influence of Tom Papley and got 25 disposals for his troubles as well. Stock take seasons had some great jobs over the years, and 25 disposals, 8 marks, 9 intercept possessions, 3 score involvements, a contested mark in his 8, and some 1%ers as well. Stock take season was well and truly on at Marvel Stadium, and Tom Papley was absolutely shit. He got 1 goal, which was a goal he didn't deserve. And either way, Stocker dominated him. So he quelled the influence of Papley really well. Cal Wilkie, 26 disposals, about 12 intercepts and 1%ers. He was really good. Jack Silvani held Charlie Curnow goalless while he was on the field. Had 7 1%ers, 16 disposals, and 7 intercept possessions as well. A lot of spoils that led to stop Sydney goals. Jack Silvani's had an amazing season. No one can dispute any of those Saints players or any of the following Saints players that are about to come up on this team. Josh Dacos at 35 disposals, he was really good, as he always does. Oscar McDonald, he was awesome. 22 disposals, 12 intercepts. He absolutely deserved his spot on the team. John Noble, 35 disposals, had a really solid game for the Suns. Ollie Dempsey kicked 2 and 29 for Geelong. Isaac Rankin kicked 3 and 24. Max Hall kicked 3 goals and 24 disposals. His game was awesome. 2 metre Peter kicked 6 goals. No debate there. Harry Mackay had about 20 disposals of his goals, so that was good. Stephen Canelio kicked 3 goals with 20 touches. Riley Thilthorpe kicked 5. Dan McStay kicked 5. And Brody Kemp kicked 5 as well. All self-explanatory there. Max Gorn destroyed Ned Moyle, proving again why that, what's his name? Jared Witts should be the ruck for the Suns, and that's why their season is over, because Damien Harwick is being stupid playing Ned Moyle when Jared Witts should clearly be in. Jai Newcomb had about 34 disposals. I think it was 11 clearances and 10 score involvements, so he deserved a spot. George Hewitt had a goal on like 33, so he deserved his spot as well. Watson kicked 5 goals on the bench because everyone else in the forward line kicked 5 goals as well, excluding Canelio, who kicked 3 and 20, so he deserved a spot on the team. Nasai Wangani kicked 3 goals and 24 touches. Harley Reid had 12 clearances to go with his 34 disposals, or 32 disposals, so he deserved it. Tim Taranto had a goal and 32, deserved a spot. And Joel Fitzgerald, I like the game of him. I'm going to read his stats too, but if you watched the Melbourne game, you would see how important he was. I think it was his, besides Gorn, he was probably their next best player. 2 goals, 23 disposals, 6 tackles, 74% disposal efficiency. 14 of his 23 disposals were contested. 2 goal assists, 11 score involvements, and 7 clearances, and 4 of those centre clearances. He's been a great pickup for Melbourne in the mid-season draft. He's just, done his role really well. Marcus Herbert was the one that fell out. He had 34 disposals of half-back. I liked him, but he was just taken off the bench essentially for Joel Fitzgerald. Been in for Josh Dacos potentially. I thought about that but didn't go there, and everyone else on the bench probably was more impactful than Marcus Herbert. So is what it is there. Logan McDonald and Jake Waterman were the next forwards with Jed Walter. I like the game of Jake Waterman despite the inaccuracy. 2 goals, 6. I just thought, had he converted one more, I probably would have had him in over Canelio, but is what it is there. Jed Walter kicked 3 and 14. I thought he was really impressive, Jed Walter. That was probably one of his best games this season for sure. Just like the way he went about it. Darcy Cameron would have been the ruck had Max Gore not dominated Ned Moyle. And Dacos was probably stiff to not make it. O'Sheen Mullen didn't do a great job on him, but I just thought Dacos didn't have the influence that was better than Naz or Harley Reid, Taranto, or Fitzgerald, or maybe Taranto, but it's 50-50 call, and I went Taranto this week. But O'Sheen Mullen didn't do a great job on Dacos, though. Billy Dowling at 3 and 18, he was good, and George Adstick 3 and 14, no, 2, 3 and 14 or something like that. He was solid as well. So that's my team of the week. Comment down below what you think. I think it's a really good team, and yeah, that's the team I've gone with. So yeah, I think it's a really good one. So yep, it is what it is there. Right, now it's time to go through my Supercoach talk. So in Supercoach this week, I scored 2,397. I've gone up 2% in the rankings to the top 15%. With 0 trades left, I'm really happy with how I'm going. I had 0 trades last week as well. So, you know, I wanted to bring in Marcus Herbert a few weeks ago, but just don't have the trades to do so. Fitzgerald's doing really well, but he's on my bench. He's like Hugo Hall-Kahan from the start of the season. I just can't put him on the field. Petrarca, I guess I could do it with who. Petrarca is pissing me off with his shit scores again. Played mainly forward this week, so it's not really his fault. It's hard week again against the old side. So it is what it is there. So let's get my Supercoach team up on the screen for you all to see. So let's get that graphic off for a second. So Naz got 117. Yep, really good. Should have got about 130. Lockie Whitfield, 139. Awesome. Lockie Ash, 82. Not happy with that. Brody Euland, 101. Really good. Josh Worrell, 62. Pathetic. Not happy with that. But you get, with players like Josh Worrell, when the ball was hardly down there, I guess he's not going to have a big score. Hugo Hall-Kahan, 78. Got a goal, so that's great to see. He got 78, which is all right. Bailey McDonald, 63 on the bench. Kai Anand, 70 on the bench. Can't believe Anand scored that with his stats not truly reflecting a 70, but whatever. And Dacos, 125. It's good. He was my captain in the end as I loopholed with Kalani White. So I got Dacos is 125. Will Ashcroft, 121. He was awesome. Lockie Neal, 105. Very good. Jordan Dawson, 110. It's whatever. Zach Merritt, 109. Not bad. Matt Rowell was great, 118. Should have got a bit more. Brad Hill, 96, a bit of whatever. And Isaac Heaney, 114, back to some better scores. Hugh Boxall did destroy him in the first half when he only had 7 disposals. He finished on 22 disposals, so I don't even know how the hell he got 114, but hey, I'll take it. Joel Fitzgerald on the bench, 117. Did really good. Wish I had him on over Petrarca. Would have been in the top 1% for the round. Someone I know got like 70 points more than me. And he was top 1% for the round, and I was like top 5% for the round. So thanks, Petrarca. You're screwing me over my ranking as well. So, yeah, Ison and Finn McRae did not play because Walter doesn't want to play Finn McRae for whatever reason. And Josh Fraser doesn't want to play Ison now because he's no good. Brody Grundy, 102. It's whatever. Luke Jackson, pathetic again. 3 or 4 scores in a row in the 90s, now a 77. If I had a trade, I would trade him out. He's pissing me off. If I had trades, I would have put Gorn in the ruck, and in the flex, I would have got someone that's actually scoring well. Pathetic. Harry Sheasel, 123. Awesome. Having a great month in Supercoach. Chad Warner, the Chad Star, 116. He was probably one of the better players, to be honest, for the Swans, along with Logan McDonald. 116, he was really good. Zach Bailey, 62. That really pissed me off. Zach Bailey's a much better player than that, but then the team was shit against Carlton, who tin-arsed a victory, and an important victory for them. Tuke Miller, 76. He's got to stop handballing the bloody thing and actually kick the ball. That's whatever, but I'm not happy. Bailey Williams, 91. He was solid. Petrarca, 53. Pathetic. Absolutely shit house. I've considered playing Lombard over him this week, but then I know if I do that, Petrarca will play at a 150, and I will regret making that swap on my team. Lombard, 69. Banfield didn't play. Max Gorn, 148. Very, very good. Thank you, Dimar, for playing Ned Moyle. That is a stupid, stupid move. Anyone with a brain would know that Jared Witt should be playing over Ned Moyle. Now, so that's my team of the week. No, not team of the week, that's a thing. Luke Traynor has copped a one-match ban for striking Jack Williams. That is an exclusive for you all. Well, not an exclusive, sorry, breaking news. 1 week suspension for Luke Traynor. Absolutely deserved that suspension. That was a dog shot in the off the ball. How the hell? By the way, the ball was like, say, 70 metres out from West Coast goal. Jack Williams got punched in their goal square. Why the hell was the ball not taken to the goal square? Again, showing the umpires don't know their own rules. That's rule 101. If a player's been hit behind play, it's to the advantage of the team that's hit. Now, that was in their forward line, West Coast, so therefore the ball should have been in the goal square. If it was the other way around, the ball was 70 metres out from their goal and a West Coast defender was punched, then it happens where the ball currently is. But the umpires don't know their own rules. But yeah, apparently I should umpire the game and cut them some slack. No, I'm not cutting them some slack. They need to get an education themselves, like Kane Corns and Andrew Dillon need an education. It's pathetic. All right, so that's my Supercoach team. I'm really happy with that. So comment down below what your thoughts are on your own team, if you're happy with your score and everything like that. You know, I'm pretty happy with my scores this year, top 15%. Hopefully I can end in the top 10% come the end of the season. So let's actually look at my Scoops fan club. I haven't looked at that for a while. See who's on top. Is Michael, who's on top. And then Mike is second. Third is Adam. Fourth is Jamie. And fifth is Philip. I believe that's the first time I've seen Philip in the top 5. So well done to him and everyone in that top 5. All right, now, so what are we going to cover now? Yes, review the games just gone. So it was, where are we? The notes are all mixed up here. Yeah, Collingwood 72, Geelong 97, Geelong by 25 points. Really disappointing for the Pies. I thought they had this in them to win this game. Polkinghorne kicked 3 goals, but they did lose Jeremy Howe, no Maynard and Darcy Moore, so their backline was really hurt. Ed Dagos had a good game. Josh Dagos had a solid game. Ed Allen was tagging. Ollie Dempsey was probably Geelong's best player. But Geelong got the win, but hey, Geelong fans, don't get carried away. You ain't making top 4, and if you do, it's only because of the easy fixture you've got at the end of the season. Friday night, in one of the most boring games all season, Fremantle 78, the Western Bulldogs 41. Freo by 37. Don't get it twisted. Freo are doing well this season, but they have to be one of the most boring sides that win games this season, because this game was like turn the game off level of game. Now, don't get it twisted that Freo scored 78 or whatever they got. It was only because the last quarter they kicked like 5 goals. Otherwise, if you actually watch the game properly, the game was over as well. So it was boring as all hell. I don't turn off games, and I didn't even turn this game off, but gee, I was so disinterested in this game because it was so shit. Oscar McDonald was Freo's best player, and that's the only name I'm going to mention because basically no one else on both sides did anything, so that's it, just Oscar McDonald. So the next game to go through was, these notes. Yeah, St Kilda 88, robbed against Sydney 107. St Kilda lost / robbed by 19 points. You know, St Kilda, great effort, great fight to be in front. But I just felt like when De Koning and Malira cop knocks to the knee, to the rib and hip, I just thought, shit. They're both in form. Grundy, at that point, had done basically nothing. Right? He basically had done nothing. De Koning was doing well. But then when they both got hit, it was just like, I don't know. The umpiring was shit throughout the whole game, favouring the Swans. They were getting goals from free kicks that they didn't deserve. We weren't getting rewarded for our pressure and everything like that from the umpiring, and they were getting free kicks they didn't deserve. Or there was decisions not going our way that we should have got, and they didn't pay it to us, and they got goals from it. Like the Kerno one, for example, that wasn't a free kick team. That was absolutely bullshit in the last quarter. And there was some others as well. It's like, Then we copped that injury to Silvani, and then it all went down the shitter then. Now, we wish Will Edwards all the best. I've been a big fan of Will Edwards. I think he's a really good defender. He's got a good future at the Swans. Recently re-signed to the club for a few years. It was a horrific injury. So we wish Will Edwards all the best. He's a good player. I really rate him. I think he's going to be a future star for them in their back line or any club he's at throughout his career. So we wish him all the best. But Jack Silvani was a much bigger loss because that's not discrediting Will Edwards. I think he's a good player. I've just said that 70 times, and I've said that since he debuted, hence why he was in my Supercoach team for starters until, you obviously trade out the rookies when you do. But Jack Silvani is a bigger loss than Will Edwards. Jack Silvani is an All-Australian level player this year, okay? He dominated Charlie Curnow, then the injury happened, and then it went all down the shitter from there with the form a little bit dropped off from St Kilda. The form dropped off a little bit, but the umpiring stuffed us over. And some Swans players were carrying on like, you didn't deserve the victory, okay? Just calm down. Warner and Logan McDonald were two players I thought really turned it for the Swans, though. And all the credit can go to the umpires for them winning, but excluding the umpires, it's Chad Warner and Logan McDonald. I thought they were really good, and they were the players probably that we didn't quite get a hold on, in particular Logan McDonald, but he just came up at the right time and did the job for them. But I love the game of Max Hall. He was awesome. Yet again, 3 goals, 24 disposals, multiple score involvements and clearances. I mean, Max Hall was proven why he was in my top 50 players. Everyone laughed at me. And I'm going to keep repeating this because people want to keep bringing up who would you rather from 2018 or something about Jack Billings and a particular Bulldogs wanker. That remember, by then, that was an opinion. That not all opinions are right. Jack Billings was a great pickup at the time. And around that time, I chose Jack Billings over that player. They were about 3 years into their careers, and Jack Billings kicked 5 goals and 20-something touches against that guy and his team, the Western Bulldogs, in one of the best comeback games ever. That's why I feel like Jack Billings was better than him at the time. Now, Jack Billings, I understand, is playing VFL now, coincidentally, for the Bulldogs. He's a development coach of the Bulldogs, developing the games of Marcus B and any other midfielders, Ed Richardson, that. So all the credit for the success, if you want to deem success for these Bulldogs players this year, in the midfield in particular, it's all because of Jack Billings. He's developing the guys. That's why Jack Billings was the better player. His career just didn't go the way he wanted with injuries and everything like that at St Kilda and Melbourne. And now he's turned his focus onto developing players and playing in the VFL for Footscray. So that's why that's the case there. Was that opinion wrong at the time? No. Is it wrong now? Maybe, because one's in the AFL and one's not. But my point is, you all want to bring up that comparison from 2018 with Jack Billings and Marcus B. Well, how about you start apologising for this Max Hall one? Because now you've got all the commentary saying he's a star, this guy, David King and everything like that, and they're right, he is a star. You got wankers like Kane Corns who are still not giving Max Hall any credit at all, or people like me any credit for my opinion on Max Hall and rating him very highly. You got Kane Corns running his mouth about Hugo Garcia, who's got better numbers statistically than Jason Horne-Francis. He's having a breakout year. Hugo Garcia, who was at the back end of last year. I love how Ross ripped into the reporters who said he was giving a stern talk to Filippo during the weekend. And I love how Ross is bit back at these dumb journalists and their dumb takes. And it was Mark McGowan who did it the week before. Not Josh Galbelich. So apologies for getting that wrong. It was Mark McGowan, but I saw other people also say it was Josh Galbelich, and I thought it was myself, but it was Mark McGowan who made himself look like an idiot last week in that presser against North Melbourne. And now this journo, I don't know who it was. So I'm not going to take a stab at it because I don't know who the hell it was, but he was also an idiot and wrong, and Ross ripped into him, and rightfully so, put him back in his place. Well done, Ross. Loving the work you're doing. Ross knows, we're not the best team or anything like that. And no Saints fan thinks we're the best team. We see the rise of the side, the improvement within, and everything like that. So, Kane Corns, shut up. Now, the next game to go through was Hawthorn 99, North Melbourne 83, Hawthorn by 16. I think it was Watson and Newcomb that really got on the win. I truly do. Impey as well. Credit to North Melbourne for staying in this contest, but thank God Hawthorn won. Otherwise, they would have been absolutely getting roasted on this program. Sheasel was very good for the Roos. The next game to go through, Port Adelaide 63, GWS 75, GWS by 12 points. Port Adelaide, you can be happy and content all you want, but that shows how Port Adelaide fans accept mediocrity. They're happy losing because they want to bring up this Dougie Cochran draft pick bullshit. You should be wanting to win games of football, not happy and content to lose. That's a club, Kane, that accepts mediocrity in their fan base. St Kilda fans aren't accepting where we are. We're happy with the improvement within. But if you tell us we're happy where we are, no, we're not. But we understand where our phase of development and all that is at. Port Adelaide fans are delusional. They have zero ball knowledge, and that they're content with mediocrity shows what Port fans are like. And plus, South Australian fan bases are pathetic. I mean, just watch their games. GWS, Lockie Whitfield, Lockie Ash, Aaron Cadman played their parts, and Stephen Keneally as well. Port Adelaide, I thought Will Lorenz, played his part, playing a bit of half-back for Will Lorenz, which is interesting, but he played his part as well for Port Adelaide. Horn Francis went at 48% disposal efficiency, but you won't hear Port Adelaide fans bring that up. You won't hear Kane Corns bring that up because Kane Corns loves to suck up to Jason Horn-Francis. If you truly were a real media critic, Kane, how about you criticise Port Adelaide and Jason Horn-Francis? But you can't do that because he's your favourite player. Your favourite player of all time. Speaking of all time, well done to Liv Morgan for retaining her Women's Championship at SummerSlam. And welcome back, Kevin Owens. Great to see him back. And well done to my tribal chief, Roman Reigns, for winning or continuing to win and retain his championship. And as Liv Morgan would say, if you don't like it, you can go cry about it. So, yep, it is what it is there. Carlton 154, Brisbane 78. Carlton by 76 points. Now, don't get it twisted. Carlton fans, you are the most arrogant fan base in the league with Geelong. And the Western Bulldogs. And Hawthorn. You're all on par with the most delusional fan bases in the league. Now, I'll give you credit when credit's due. That win against Brisbane was awesome. But their fans now talking about, and they're being serious, they're not joking, saying they're going to win the premiership. They're booking grand final tickets, all this shit. They have one good win all season, and they want to brag. Like when you beat Geelong, apparently that's your bogey team. They're your bogey team. You're their bogey team. The Western Bulldogs, they're completely shit, so it's nothing special beating them. We beat you. We're better than you, and you know it. And then if you beat us this week, it's because of Silvani and Flanders and King and Sinclair and co that are out. You've got no one out bar Wiedering. And the only reason you're doing well in your back half of the field is because of Wade Dirksen. Dirks is a great player and should have been playing from the start. GWS should have been playing him. He's doing well. Patrick Cripps in his milestone game of Haynes didn't even do anything. Hewitt has been awesome. Taylor Burns revived his career the last few weeks and shown why he's now deserving his spot in the team, where at the start of the year he wasn't. Now he is. Brody Kemp pops up here and there. But Carlton fans, I've just given you credit. But you're all delusional still. This doesn't change that Carlton are still overrated. If you end up being in 10th place, you're going to get eliminated from the wild card against Melbourne, the Western Bulldogs, or whoever you end up playing. You're just going to be eliminated. You beat Brisbane? Congratulations. Brisbane were shit. Lockie Neal and Will Ashcroft were some of their better players. But like the coach of the Lions said, they're allowed to have a one-off game. They can't win every single game. Credit to you for winning that game. But hopefully you get set and back down to reality this week or in the coming weeks. Carlton fan bases are a joke. Carlton channels, besides Terry, the rest, You're embarrassing yourself, okay? Stop getting arrogant. Earn a victory consistently. Then come talk to me. Yeah. All right. Okay, the games on Sunday were relatively close. Richmond 84 to West Coast 73. If West Coast kick straight, West Coast win this game. Waterman, 6 behinds. I mean, we're not blaming Jake Waterman here. We're going to blame the other players for missing easy goals as well. Job Shanahan, Cooper Duff-Tytler, and co, who were missing as well. West Coast were the better side, but Richmond were more efficient in front of goal. Tom Lynch was shit in front of goal again. He should retire, but we know why he's playing still, and I get it. But some selection moves at both clubs were confusing. Marcus Herbert's been a good recruit, just like Ryan Marrick was a few years ago as a mid-season recruit. So West Coast have done better with some of their recruitments in the mid-season draft and everything like that. Oliver Franco is now injured, but he done okay. So West Coast have found some players through the mid-season and pre-season draft periods and rookie selections and whatnot. But Dev Robinson's going to come back next year, who was in great form before his ACL injury, Dev. Finn McRae's got to play, Minnie. Just play him. See what you got. And if he doesn't work, he doesn't work. You got him for nothing, so just play him. But disappointing for the Eagles. They're a far better side than Richmond. And that's a step back. Harley Reid was really good. It was good to see him get around his good mate, Willem Dersma, who was upset with the loss. I mean, you know, just got to get around your teammates, and it's good to see Harley do that with good mate Willem Dersma, who had a solid game as well. Gold Coast 105, Melbourne 114, Melbourne by 9 points. This is a good game. Gold Coast have been really impressive the last few weeks despite losing against Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. They easily could have won both games, or at least one of those. I know they didn't, but they've been more competitive, been more fight. Raul, Lombard this week was better. Jed Walter was really good. So some players are stepping up. They just lost in a close game. For Melbourne, Max Gorn was obviously really good, as was Joel Fitzgerald as well. That's the one. The last game, Essendon 73, Adelaide 145. Pathetic by Essendon, no shock. Peter Wright, 6 goals. Thilthorpe 5, Billy Dowling 3, Rankin 3, Jordan Dawson had 30 disposals. There's a lot of good, even contributors on the night. Adelaide got the much-needed percentage they needed, and it's put them in a great position for the top 4. And Brisbane are knocking on their door to take that spot back. So, well done to them. Now let's preview round 22 to wrap us up, shall we? Thursday night at Marvel Stadium, we have Western Bulldogs hosting North Melbourne, 7:30. Victorian time, I'll be tipping the Western Bulldogs to win this one by 8 points. Friday night at the Gabba, 7:40 Victorian time, it's Brisbane and Hawthorn. I'll be tipping Brisbane, this one to bounce back by 18 points. We got the Saturday games. Oh, where are we? These notes are getting mixed up. Saturday, 1:15 at the MCG. It is Melbourne and Freo. I'll be tipping Freo to lose this one. So I've got Melbourne in this one by 8 points. 4:15 at the SCG. Victorian time, it's Sydney and Port. I'll be tipping Sydney to win by 80 points. We got also 4:35 p.m. at GMHBA, Shaver Stadium in Geelong. We got Geelong and Essendon. I'll be tipping Geelong, unfortunately, in this one by 70 points. 7:35 p.m. at the Adelaide Oval, we have Adelaide and Richmond on Saturday night. I'll be tipping the Crows to win this one by 85 points. The games on Sunday, we got GWS hosting Gold Coast in Canberra at 1:10 on Sunday. I'll be tipping GWS to win this one by 8 points. Hopefully Gold Coast can win. This is a must-win game for the Giants to keep their finals hopes alive while their wildcard hopes alive. 4:10 at Optus Stadium, it's the West Coast hosting Collingwood in Perth. I'll be tipping Collingwood to win this one by 70 points. Sorry, not 70 points, 17 points. And the final game, the Spuds game, 7:30, Sunday night at Marvel Stadium. It's the Saints hosting Carlton in a double-header, 7:20 Victorian time at Marvel. Saints, Blues. I'll be tipping my Saints to win by 12 points in what is a must-win game for the season and will shape the wildcard round. Now, the AFLW do play at 4:30 at Marvel Stadium in a curtain raiser, in a double header to open the AFLW season, which will be great to see St Kilda and Carlton go at it. Carlton had an improved season in the AFLW last year. St Kilda just made finals and went out in the first round. Carlton made it to a prelim. St Kilda will want to start the season with a bang in the AFLW and pass over Carlton again in the AFL and go into the top 10. So the Saints by 12 points in both competitions. We'll wrap it up with this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend, wish somebody a birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players or any state league players and you want to see them on the channel in a goal kicking challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll get something sorted. Thank you and go Saints and beat Carlton again.